Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I thought we'd take a look at a very well known and respected manufacturer here in the UK, and that's ValetPro. But before we get into it, I just want to give a shout out to Warwick Mobile Valeting and Detailing. He reached out to me earlier in the week, said I've got some product surplus to requirements, would you like them? Well, of course I said yes. So theoretically speaking, today's review is brought to you by Warwick Mobile Valeting and Detailing. Thank you very much, buddy. Let's take a look at what we're going to use. So we've got Billberry wheel cleaner. We'll mix some of that up and get it going. Formula 1 snow foam, we'll give that a good try as well. And we've also got Poseidon shampoo as well. Sadly, the label is missing from the front, but trust me, it is Poseidon. And we're going to finish the plastics off with Black to the Future, which is a plastic dressing. I'm kind of popping my ValetPro Cherry today. I've used a couple of their products in the past. Their citrus pre-wash is amazing, and their BD Marvellous Wax is pretty decent too. But I've not tried any of these before, strangely enough, so it's going to be a bit of a learning curve for me today. I think we're going to start with Billberry. Let's get some Billberry mixed up. Okay, so let's take a look at the dilution rates. First, let's have a look at the product. So it's acid-free, effective on baked on brake dust, pleasant aroma. That makes a nice change, doesn't it? Suitable for painting and lacquer wheels. Dilute up to 10:1, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Quick look at the directions on the back as well. Spray, dilute heavily soiled wheels, use neat, lightly soiled 10:1. Spray onto the wheel, leave to dwell but not dry out. Rinse off thoroughly with a pressure washer. If necessary, reapply, agitate with a wheel brush and rinse thoroughly. That's what I'm going to do as well. So let's get it mixed, shall we? So, got an empty bottle, a litre of water, and one of my long-standing syringes, bless you. Do you know what? Probably doesn't need it. Let's give it a little bit of agitation as well. So, I'm spilling it every bloody way. That's 60. Okay, I kind of get the Billberry link there. That's very blueberry smelling. And there's 40. Well, it was. I've just spilt it down the side. You ever had one of them days? There you go. In with a litre of water. What I'm also going to do is put some Poseidon in my wheel bucket. Funky colour, isn't it? Right, let me go and grab the Poseidon and we'll get the wheel bucket set up as well. Okay, so let's get cracking with this now. According to the label on Poseidon, mix 30 ml for every 5 litres of water. That's a 10 litre bucket. So that's going to be 60 ml, isn't it? Right, let's try not to spill it this time, eh, Craig? There's 60 ml. Straight into the bucket. Doesn't feel to be a lot of lubrication in that. We'll see how we get on with that, shall we? And let's just give it a slight agitation. Well, it froths up nice. That's not bad, is it? It's frothed up well. Right, let's get the wheels clean. Okay, let's see how this goes, shall we? So, just as recommended, let's get right in there in the barrels. I think I've picked the worst spray bottle that I've actually got to do this. What a numpty. We shall persevere though. Well, it definitely is one of the more pleasant smelling wheel cleaners. I think it's safe to say that's had a very good coating. Let's get the caliper as well. Now it says to leave it to dwell. You know me, I've got no patience whatsoever. So, lubricated brush. Now, Poseidon in the wheel bucket, there is lubrication there. There is definitely lubrication there. Not the most lubricated I've ever felt, but there's definitely lubrication there. Okay, let's just get into the little nooks and crannies, shall we? Well, it's kind of clinging around, which is good. And it really is kind of cutting through this brake dust with little to no effort at all. And now this is at the 10:1 ratio. The wheels weren't particularly dirty, to tell you the truth. So 10:1 was kind of what I would class as a maintenance sort of ratio. It seems to be doing okay so far. Right, let's get my AliExpress wheel brush. Believe it or not, this was $1.80 delivered. And it's really not bad, so much so I've ordered 10 of them for the season. Where's our little mitt? Well, I mean, I know it's shampoo doing the work now, but at 10:1 that would appear to have broken down all the grime that was on the wheel. Like I said, they weren't really dirty. But there was definitely brake dust and road fallout on there. Let's give it a rinse. Well, let's take a look. That's quite a clean wheel, isn't it? Okay, at 10:1, I'm quite impressed with that. And moving swiftly on rather, we're going to go to Formula 1 snow foam. So, let's take a look at this, shall we? High performance pH neutral snow foam, clings to paintwork exceptionally well, effective at loosening dirt and road grime, luxurious thick foam, wax safe formula. And the back says, hand pump, no, we're not going to go for that. Snow foam lance, add 100 to 300 ml of product to a 1 litre foam lance bottle, then fill the rest with water. Okay, so we'll go for the middle ratio, which will be 200 ml to 800 ml of water. And as if by magic, got 800 ml of water. So let's top that up to a litre. Which is there. And let's get it in the foam lance, shall we? Well, it's foaming up quite a lot already, look. In fact, I'm going to struggle to get that in there without having foam pop at the top. There we go. This also smells quite good as well. Very shower gel. Right, let's get that foam on the car and see how it does, shall we? But just before we foam the car, probably a good idea to have a look at the dirt that's on it, isn't it? It's not that bad. It really isn't that bad. Obviously the sills and skirts have took quite a hit. And as always, round the back here is dreadful. Let's just see how well it does, shall we? Pop you down there. Yeah, that looks good. Let's give it a go. Well, there's absolutely no denying the fact that is very, very thick foam. Just thought I'd bring you in just to show you what's occurring. Guys, I'm not joking either. This has now been dwelling for 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and it's going nowhere. It's just clinging. It's running off, and it does seem to be pulling a little bit of dirt away with it. But with this sort of cling rate, I'm just going to leave it sitting. It's also really bright, not particularly warm. It's only about 10-11 degrees centigrade, but it is bright. But I'm also well aware of the fact that it might dry on the surface. So I can't believe how long this is sticking around for. Smells really good too. You know what? I'm fed up of waiting. Let's get it off. It's been about 10 minutes now. show you. Let's get in down there. I mean, it's removed some of the soiling. Can you see all this here? It's removed some of the soiling, but obviously not everything. Maybe I should have tried it at the maximum dilution rate. I mean, it's helped, but it hasn't removed as much as I was hoping it would. Okay, so the car's had a decent pre-wash now. Let's move on with the foam cannon wash method. So we've got Poseidon. I've lost the label on both sides now. Basically the label said 30ml in a 5 litre, so that would be 60. I'm going to go for 500ml in there with 30ml of product. And I didn't spill it, so we have 30ml. Into the wash bottle, slight swirl to mix it. That was a slight swirl, come on Craig, there we go. See if I can do this without spilling it everywhere. There we go, nearly there. While I'm pouring this in, I just want to take the opportunity to say hello to all my new subscribers. I don't know if the algorithm has kicked in or anything, but I've gained, I think it was 57 subscribers this month. Absolutely awesome, and I'm over the moon with it. Thank you guys for subscribing. Right, let's get this thing washed, shall we? Right, let's get washing. Again, another nice smelling product. Oh, I got the lens wet. Can you still see me? Yeah, you can. Okay, so first impressions, it's not too bad. There is lubrication there. Not quite what I'm used to with lubrication. But so far so good, it seems to be okay. Lubricated enough for me not to worry. It's okay. I think for future use I will probably up the dilution rate, maybe by another 10ml, say put 40ml in there. the dirt off no problem, and it does feel lubricated enough that you could wash with confidence. Now, it's supposed to leave a sacrificial layer behind, as well as being a bit of a gloss enhancer as well. So let's see how it rinses off. I'm going to leave this now. I'm going to let the sun bake it on a little bit and see how well it rinses clean. So let's get a close-up of everything that's dried on. Yeah, I mean, you really shouldn't do this, but for the purpose of the video, I just like things that rinse cleanly. Let's give it a go. Yep, it's come off with no real issues, to be honest with you. Okay, that's good. And so we're moving on to the last product of the day, Black to the Future. It's a trim plastic dressing really. Revives faded plastic, leaves a hyper beading finish, high quality finish. Before use, read the precautions on the bottom of the tub. Yeah. Apply with a soft foam applicator, spread evenly, allowed to cure for 5 to 10 minutes, buff off any remaining residue, repeat if needed. Let's give it a go. So, it's a cream. It's a very creamy cream as well. I'm just going to use a foam applicator brush, just because you can be a little bit more precise with it. Right into the corners. Oh, it is very creamy. I think I put a bit too much on there. Yes, I know I've got some under paintwork. I'm just going to leave it and see if it stains. Okay, a little less this time. Whenever I start to film, that wind picks up. It's almost like it waits for me. Wow, I think I've got far too much on here, guys. But it's spreading out quite nicely. Never used a cream trim protector before. Hey, I tell you what, I have used far too much because I'm still spreading this. Yeah, I've used far too much. So, lesson learnt there, guys. Less is more with this product. But it's spread absolutely fine. Let's do as we're told. Leave it 5-10 minutes and we'll give it a buff. It's been on for about 5 minutes now. Clean microfiber. Let's give it a buff. Wiped off from the surrounding paintwork, no problem. It's not leaving a greasy film either, so that's a bonus. And it's buffing off really, really well. Let's get in. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, actually. Okay, before we go back for my final thoughts, let's take a quick look around the car. Obviously I've dressed the tyres and the arch linings. It's left quite a nice finish to it. Does feel slick. Let's have a look at the glass. It hasn't really left any spotting on it at all. Looks okay. Let's have a quick look at the front grille. Well, it's definitely darkened this, and it's given it a nice sheen as well. So let's go back and let's have a talk about what I think. Excuse the state of my tool cart. I'm in a process of cleaning up. Right, let's start with Billberry. Mixed it at the lowest dilution rate, which was 10:1, and in fairness it did do a fairly decent job. Fair enough, the wheels weren't particularly filthy, but it did fetch it off with no problems whatsoever. For a maintenance wheel cleaner, I'd say that was okay. Moving on to Formula 1, sorry, the labels are coming off, no fault of ValetPros, I think it's just the way they've been stored. Moving on to Formula 1, I went for the middle ratio, which was 200ml of product to 800ml of water. It was thick, it was really thick, it was shaving foam thick, and it clung around okay. Didn't quite move as much dirt as I was hoping it would. Maybe I should have upped it to 300ml. Not saying that it's a bad product, because it did actually do some cleaning, just not as much as I'm used to. This, I would say, is going to be a summer snow foam when you don't have to remove heavy road salt and grime. If you've got just your normal daily sort of water splashing and dust, that's what I'm going to save that for. Poseidon, it was okay. It was okay in the wheel bucket. There was lubrication, I could feel it. A little less so in the foam cannon wash method. I only put 30ml in now, I could have put 40ml in. Personally, this is what I would refer to as a bucket shampoo. It was lubricated enough to wash with confidence. I just would have liked to have had a little bit more lubrication. And finally, moving on to Black to the Future. First time I've ever used a cream trim product, and it was okay, to be fair. I used far too much in the initial application because it spread very, very well, and it seems to have left quite a nice finish to the plastics. Quite like that. So there you go, guys. Billberry I would definitely recommend, and I quite like Black to the Future. Nothing wrong with the other two. What you've got to bear in mind is the amount of products that I use and review. There are some better, and obviously there are worse. These, I would say, are middle of the road. Like I said, summer use, absolutely. Especially this is going to hang around forever. So if you've got it in direct sun, excuse me, if you've got it in direct sun, it's going to cling around long enough for you to get your wheels done and not dry on the car. Similar story with this. I did leave it on the side of the car to sort of bake on a little bit, and the residue rinsed off fairly well, so I'm quite happy with that. Like I said, I would have just liked a little bit more lubrication and a little more suds from the foam cannon wash method. Just personal preference, that's all it comes down to, guys. But on the whole, I'm glad I've popped my ValetPro cherry, and they were all enjoyable products to use. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. As I said earlier, thank you very, very much to all my new subscribers. I'm absolutely blown away with how it suddenly took off. I am really, really pleased. Thank you ever so much. Stay tuned, guys. I've got some great content coming up soon, and it's not just going to be on Dougie as well. There's going to be a few changes here at HQ. It's going to be a little bit of a facelift, and there's going to be a couple of stories to tell in a not too distant future. I'll also be featuring a lot of customer cars as well. Manufacturers, if you're watching, please get in touch. I would love to review your products for you. Drop a message down below and I'll contact you, or alternatively find me on Facebook, same name as the channel, Craig Whitehouse Detailing. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Guys, look after yourselves, and until the next time, keep it shiny.